Thank you. Good to see you.
Good morning,
Thank you
sir.
for your hard work. Couple quick questions because I think that it's imperative on us to make sure that we're protecting not only the people that are on the ship, but obviously the people of Broward County that are on land. So part of the plan that I saw put forward includes passengers getting off driving in their own private car somewhere. I'm assuming that that's not something that the sheriff or you could approve as part of the unified command under any circumstances.
Commissioner, I will say that has been an item that's been under significant consideration. Again, I would defer to Carnival to provide an update on where that is. But again, to the previous question, if there's not unanimous consent in the room, then the plane is not approved. And if the plane is not approved, I will not permit the vessel to enter U.S. waters.
Okay.
So I think that's still under consideration, but I defer to my UC partners.
So where's the federal government on this? How come this is something that's being put in the lap of basically a local government agency? When I get reports, and everyone has reports, and I've heard from consul generals from all over the world on this. You have 248 people from Canada, 232 from Great Britain, 141 from Australia. What's going to happen with those passengers? Where is the United States government on this? Why is this being hurled on the people probably with the least amount of ability to solve this? Where is the idea of bringing this to a naval station or somewhere? I just don't understand how this has simply become a Broward County issue. Sheriff Tony stood up before here. He doesn't have the ability to sign off on this plan right now. I don't blame him. You couldn't sign off.
Excuse me. Colleagues, if you're on the phone, please mute your phone. We're getting feedback. I will go through the list to see whether or not you want to comment on the issue.
So where is the federal government on this? How come we're not receiving that assistance?
Commissioner, I apologize. I can't speak for the entire federal government. I can speak for Sector Miami as the captain of the port.
Okay.
And the reason we're involved in this unified command process now is because we have received advance notice of arrival, and among the unified command, there's a continued will to try and press through. If at any point this county, this port, said, we just are not going to get to yes, this is not a business relationship we want to continue, because ultimately I assume there's some of that is involved here. So this is not being thrust upon Broward County by the United States Coast Guard or by Sector Miami. I would defer the broader question perhaps to the State Department or those more senior in the House or in the Senate. It's complicated, I get it. And again, these are very, very tough problems, but I'm not sure that's an appropriate question for me, sir.
Okay, because I'm getting calls from congressional members throughout the country that are saying, there are 2 people on the ship from my congressional district, what's the story? And obviously we want to try and accommodate passengers that are on there. No one wants to turn anybody away so that there's additional suffering or additional, health-related issues. So, there's ships off the coast right now that you can see them when you look out the window. They're shuttling sick passengers into some of our local area hospitals. What protocols are they using, and would we expect, at least at a minimum, for this ship to use identical protocols? Because I'm getting calls from people that work at the port that are saying there are tenders coming in with sick people coming in that are being sent to the local hospitals, and they're not being provided with the level of assurances. It's kind of like they're there and, hey, deal with it. So how do we determine that?
Yes, sir. The Coast Guard routinely conducts medical evacuation from vessels at sea. It's an urgent search and rescue operation within our responsibilities as maritime search and rescue professionals.
So I'm assuming that you know how to. Okay, no, but I'm in agreement with you, but.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to require those minimum standard, like, if somebody's on a ship and they need an emergency rescue, you do that. Are you going to require that on a minimum for this ship with anybody that's sick on this ship?
Yes, sir. As I mentioned earlier, and we'd be happy, I believe Count Wiltshire has a copy of the Captain of the Port Order. It was sent out late last night, so I'll follow up on that.
Please mute your phone, colleagues.
Some of your questions are addressed in the Captain of the Port Order that was issued to these ships by Rear Admiral Jones. And if you have additional questions, sir, I'd be happy to answer them offline.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Thank you very